Yeah, buddy. Back in the saddle here in the home studio in the mothership after a week off. I guess it does no use of me complaining about the weather because we're all feeling it together. It was a shock to come back from 75, 80 degrees every day, 72 at night, and dealing with this. Speaking of the weather, though, tonight's our last cold night. It is going to warm back up immediately tomorrow. And then we're in really good shape after that. More chances of rain through the week, but we do have I'm going to start with this because we got so much to do today. But we do have a red flag warning from about Birmingham south for most of the state. The humidity is super low. Parts of the state, it's down around 22%. And we've got this breezy wind gust. So we have a fire danger through the afternoon and probably until we get some substantial rain. So just bear that in mind. I do a little casual burning. I got a little burn pit, and I get rid of stuff that way. And decided to hold up when I saw that this morning. So just bear that in mind as we get through the next couple of days. Good to be back. Good to see AJ on the other side of the glass as we get cranked up here this afternoon, doing our thing. And we could not have a more spectacular news day to get a Monday started. Just so much stuff going on. Right now, the most immediate thing, the two things that are sort of happening in the moment, we'll start there. Sometimes I start with the most important things, but sometimes it's things that are just going on right now. We're watching the U.S. men's hockey team return to Miami, Florida, after their victorious win in the Olympics. Just a big point of national pride. Now, I didn't watch the game. If I got to be real with y'all, I didn't even know what was going on. I probably would have gotten into it. I'm not a big hockey fan, but anytime your country's on the line and being competitive, and these guys are out there doing their thing. Because look, I'm a child of the Miracle on Ice generation. That was 46 years ago, and this team won it 46 years ago to the day. Happened to be my birthday, by the way, and AJ, the birthday of the radio show, not the station. We're going 10 years here at Talking It on 5 come this March, but the show itself, AJ, I wasn't here for it. Well,
Yeah,
you weren't either because it was Sunday.
it was Sunday.
But dude, we've been doing this thing 16 years.
Wow.
What? How'd we get old?
Back on my day.
We got old today.
Yeah.
We got old together.
Well, you were talking about the hockey team coming back,
Yeah.
and I knew because I saw that the women's had won the gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that game, and then I was actually in the airport on my way back to Birmingham yesterday, and I had a little layover, which then it got extended because I volunteered to, get off the plane and. Got rewarded by that's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've done that before where you get bumped and they give you a free flight or something.
Yeah. So I got that. And so I'm sitting here in the middle of Dallas Airport, just like trying to linger around, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then I saw all these people like standing around this bar area, and I was like, "What the heck?" I was like, "Oh, it was because I started getting like the news hits so that they were tied, and then it went into overtime."
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, okay, yeah. And then finally they won. And I'm acting like I know what I was watching, but I'm like, yeah, go USA when they won.
Dude, of course, I didn't watch it, but I was hanging out with family yesterday for my birthday. But, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know what was going on. What time of day was it? Was it early in the morning, I guess? Live? Did we watch it live? Was everybody watching it live?
Yeah, it was live. So
they're 8 hours ahead. So
it was about like 9
in the
morning when I saw it.
Well, I was driving at that point, still trying to haul back from the Keys. Took me a day and a half to get back. But man, that is a man sport, dude. This ain't basketball where if they get, shoved a little bit, they start crying and try to get a penalty. This dude, I saw the highlights. He got his tooth knocked clean out.
Yeah.
And and I know that happens in hockey. It's kind of a caricature, really. But instead of whining about it, he picked his teeth up only to show the refs so the other guy would get a penalty. And he's bleeding, and he gets right back in. He didn't miss a single step. He gets right back in and fights for it.
That's that old school hockey.
That's like a movie.
Yeah.
They already made the Miracle on Ice movie.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to a Golden Knights game in Vegas, and it was not like that. They were a little soft on some of the I think this is a little bit different because
the Golden Pansies. Sorry dudes.
And so I saw the game, and I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more. This is more than just like a trophy, right? This is two countries.
Oh yeah, it's the Olympics, man.
Yeah, that's kind of like, hey, and then they're talking about bragging rights, because when's the next Winter Olympics? 4 years from now, I'm assuming. Is it like Summer Olympics? I'm not sure how it goes, but this is a big rivalry.
You know what's funny is I was sitting here about to make some Canadian jokes.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized as I glanced over at the monitor, I'm wearing a hat from Canada. I visited a town called Banff a few years ago, and I just happened to grab this hat today. Like I'm wearing my Canadian hat, trashing the Canadians.
I mean, hey, look, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's the part of Canada that wants to get out of Canada and join us anyway.
Right.
I'm trying to give them Minnesota.
Right.
I'm trying to see if we can do some Red Rover, send Minnesota right over, and see what happens. But look, I was thinking to myself today, I was like, which win is bigger? And I don't even think it's close. And people my age are going to probably agree with this. But beating the Soviets, not the Russians, the Soviet Union in the height of the Cold War. We got this brand new cowboy president. America's on a comeback. There's some parallels. It's 46 years ago. But America's on a comeback. I'm 13, and I remember our English teacher was so into it. He pulled a TV into our class and let us watch that game or that match. What do they call it? I'm not a hockey guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they let us watch. And, of course, it was only about an hour class. We didn't get to see the whole thing. And we heard about the end after the class was over. I'll never forget Mr. White. He was a total patriot. And so I think I'm in the 8th grade. But we beat the Soviets with a bunch of college kids. Remember when you couldn't be a professional and be in the Olympics?
Mm-hmm.
At least on the American team. The Soviets always cheated and had their paid players, and they
steroid.
They were like old Drago from Rocky IV. I must break you. I mean, they were all rutted up and juiced. But these college kids beat their ass.
Yeah.
And it was a win. It was like we won a battle in the Cold War, man.
It was almost kind of like the bobsled team for Jamaica.
Oh
right?
yeah,
no one was like, wait a minute. Who bobsleds in Jamaica, right?
Exactly.
Because I don't know, was hockey even popular around that time of that?
I guess it's
era?
been around, but not in Jamaica as much.
Well,
It's
not in Jamaica. I was trying to
use
use that correlation because you think about United States was not known for hockey.
No. Yeah, for the Jamaicans to pull a bobsled team into the Winter Olympics, a tropical country.
Yeah.
That was big for them. And they made the movie Cool Runnings.
They did.
Which was an outstanding movie, by the way.
And I watched the documentary on Ice and was just talking about just the whole stereotype of like America not being a hockey country. Russia was this dominant hockey country that was just beating everybody. And then America comes.
Whooped them.
And just miracle on ice.
And that was the beginning of the wall falling. I'm just going to say that was what it got Reagan fired up. He said, tear down this wall and look what happened.
And that was the year I was born, too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah,
what
1980.
Year? 80?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to ask if you remembered it. Clearly not. Yeah, man. So good for them. So anyway, the point is they're coming back today. Heroes welcome. I mean, they just won yesterday in their 8-hour flight. They had to land in Miami because New York is shut down, which is another one of the news stories today. They've got 2 feet of snow, about to be 3. Blizzard conditions, hurricane force winds.
And they talk about us.
I know it. My son's up there in the middle of that stuff. And by the way, did you hear about Mondami? This guy, there's so many Democrats that don't know how to run things. And this guy told some citizens, hey, if you want to come volunteer, here's the commie now that believes in a livable wage, and the whole party's against voter identification. And this guy goes, you can come in here and shovel snow for like $3 an hour, but you need 2 forms of ID to shovel snow. I'm like, well, really?
Really?
We just wanted to vote. Oh, no problem there. Go ahead and vote. What a jackass.
Now, what if you don't have a shovel, right?
No, they're going to give you a shovel. They're going to give you a shovel.
They're going to give you a shovel. Okay.
See, we used to have another program like that. It was like, hey, if you want a welfare check, come get a shovel. That used to work. It was called Workfare. We invented that stuff in the 90s, and then it went away. Tommy Thompson, Wisconsin, true story. So anyway, back to the snowstorm. So the blizzard hitting in the Northeast, that's shutting down flights everywhere. The hockey team had to come into Miami. Trump has invited them to come to the State of the Union, which is tomorrow night. Another thing that snuck up on me. I had no idea we were doing this tomorrow night. And so hockey team's going to come. That'll be a moment. That's made for TV right there. This toothless guy sitting there going, yeah, man. Woo, MAGA. I love it. So they're going to be going, I guess, straight on up to D.C. to be in front of the whole country. What timing too that they would do that? Within 2 days, and the whole country gets to applaud them, except for some Democrats who've decided not to go because they're a bunch of whiny ass babies. Well, don't go. Go stand on a corner and freeze somewhere. I don't care.
Go shovel
We're all
some
going to
snow.
watch the State of the Union. Yeah, go pee in the snow and then eat it. We're done with y'all. All right. Okay. I went political anyway, didn't I? All right. So plenty of stuff to get to. Y'all, we got Epstein news. Mexico's is blowing up, which is so outstanding. Some people are unnerved by it. It is exactly what we want to be happening down there. These cartels are about to turn on each other. You take off the head of the snake starts fighting for what? They're fighting for the crumbs that are left after the border got shut down. This is chaos, and it's sad for some Americans that are trapped. Let me get into a little bit of that. Because I've got a point to make about this that I want you to, as you watch these images, some of you may have family that are trapped down there at any given moment. A lot of Americans are in Mexico as tourists, and I've never found the appeal of it. It was always seemed too dangerous to me. And I've had family to go there. Lots of y'all have been there, but these cartels are now taking it out on the tourist destinations by design. They're going after these spots because they're anti-Western spots. As we believe what happened is Mexico, if you remember just 3 weeks ago, we talked about it and everybody blew this story off. But some of the Mexico government voted, and I don't understand the machinations of how their process works to allow it, but they voted to allow American special forces to come and train their folks to go after the cartels, which is pretty brilliant because it keeps us from having to do it. We're preoccupied with Iran right now. So we sent some special forces down. I think it was 20 of them. And within days, they go and take out the leader of this massive cartel. It's the biggest cartel in Mexico right now. What's his name? El Muncho or whatever it is. What is his name? Muncho? Mincho? El Mincho.
Yeah.
They got to fire Narcos back up. Did you ever watch that TV series?
I never got into it.
It was outstanding.
I never got into it.
And they did one version, then they did a Mexico version. They did a Colombian version, and now they need to just refire it up because this is made for TV
Yes,
stuff.
El Mincho.
El Mincho.
Mincho, yes.
So anyway, they got old Mincho and took him out. And so the cartels are seeking their revenge. Right now, they're battling with the police and government forces in the streets. The death toll supposedly at 25. And Americans are trapped in their resorts, wherever they're hanging out, in the hotels, wherever you go. Zihuatanejo, if you watched Shawshank Redemption, you know where that is. Oh, you think old Red sitting there on the boat going, and then they took out the leader of the cartel. And we was stuck in Zihuatanejo, me and Andy.
Now, look, I'm always in this mind frame, right? So, like, when people get stuck on a cruise and they're like, oh, my God, I'm stuck on a ship. I'm like, well, your vacation just extended a little bit, right?
Maybe so, except stuff going off in the background.
Well, that's true. That's true. But, I mean, you're on a resort, so they're not going to go in the resort. It's just
No, they're going in the resort.
Oh.
That's where I was going. Hang on before
I was about to say, well, okay, well, then get me out of here.
Even though to your point, I saw a meme today with these Americans, these overweight Americans were all laying out on lounge chairs on a beach, and there were fires going off in the town right behind them. You could see the smoke columns of different car fires and fuel tanker trucks. All hell's breaking loose. And these people are like, I paid my $300
That's me.
for this. I'm getting my son in. They are not going to give me a refund. I'm going to get mine. They can fight all they want.
Man,
I'm here. Would you do that?
That is me, 100%.
I paid good money for this damn trip.
Look, look, this is my vacation. Look,
I've been saving up for this. This is our honeymoon.
This is it.
You only get one honeymoon. Y'all gonna have to take. Hey, El Macho, take your boys and take that over there.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
Right.
I'm gonna take my vacation.
We are trying to get our son. I got me some cocoa butter. I'm out here in the sun. This dude brought me a watered down drink and a coconut. Get off me.
I'm gonna hit this buffet line.
There's
I'm
sand
gonna
in
give
my
you
crack.
something, man. Look,
I am sunburned. I ain't going anywhere. You just going over there with your mess.
hey, my name is Ben and I ain't in it. You know, don't step over here. We good.
Don't start nothing on me one.
Hey.
You know who the president is. Wait a minute. I'm an American. Hey, cartel. I'm an American. You know who the president is, right? I don't think I would do that. Ask the head of Venezuela how that goes.
I mean, look, I was the guy when Hurricane Katrina came. Man, ain't finna go over there. Let's do it. I was about to go to New
Oh,
Orleans
go ahead and get it.
because I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, I paid for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my money's worth. The hell?
In all seriousness, though, apparently the State Department in one of the cables they put out said Americans have been taken hostage down there, and that would stand to reason. So we'll see how it develops. That is among the things we're going to talk about today. That is it. Now, let me slide one more story in here because I got wind of this today, and I don't even know what's happening with it. I got to do some homework, to be honest. But apparently in the last few days, probably while I was traveling, there was a situation in Blount County, Alabama. Was this in the news, AJ, while I was gone, where a bondsman, a bond agent that goes out and finds these people or skip bond or whatever, 73 years old, he goes out to execute, I guess, a warrant, kind of dog the bounty. He's offed by this assailant that is still on the run, and the sheriff up there did a news conference, and there's been like 10 grand offered. But what they didn't tell us in the moment, and we found out this morning, and I think my man Jared Hudson has some knowledge about this. But the guy was a cartel member connected to the cartels, and now he's on the run. He shot up people in the community of Blount County, and I don't know if they're just trying to keep the PR down, but that wasn't out front on the storytelling, is my understanding. Now, again, in fairness, I wasn't here when the story developed, so I don't have all the details. Here's my point. This cartel business is right here around us. You need to really know what we're talking about here and be serious about it for a minute. What the violence that you're seeing in Mexico, all over that country, fires, shootings, all out civil war, basically. These people are armed. You know what they're using right now? They're using IEDs like that hurt so many of our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. They've been trained on how to use improvised explosive devices on roadsides. And they blowing up Mexican guard members all over the place. They'll come in a convoy, they blow up the convoy. They're using military tactics. They've got shoulder-fired weapons, missiles. They've got, of course, all the small arms they want. This is a military president of Mexico. She is a drug thug, and this is happening out of her control. And so my final point to drag the Blount County story in on this is they are operating all around us in our community and all over this country, and it's what we're trying to do to get them out of here with these ICE roundups. Listen to me and listen closely and repeat this to all your dumb relatives that don't know anything about anything, that are low information and don't listen to shows like this. This is what ICE is doing. They're moving these people out of our country. These are cartel people that came across with clearly people that mean well and just want to work in the restaurants and paint houses or whatever. There clearly is a labor force that came over, and there's some kids that got drug across when they came over. But there's some extremely dangerous people. To rephrase, these are the same people that are blowing up Mexico are connected to the same people that are running around our communities right now as we speak. They're the same people with the same training, same motivation, same organizational structure. They're being commanded and led by their own folks, and they're in this country, and we're slowly getting them out of here. But the Blount County situation is an example of how dangerous it is in this country right now. There's money on the line. These guys are facing pressure. The border's closed. We're blowing up cartel boats. Their supply chain's getting disrupted, and Trump means business. And now we are assisting in taking out their leadership. And if we were to take out the leadership of all the major cartels, they're just going to go to war with each other, which kind of solves the problem. In some ways, they start to eat each other in a cannibalistic way. But these are very serious times with that. But it's good to go ahead and tip that first domino over and see what happens. Sadly, a lot of Americans who naively thought they were vacationing there, I don't know who the hell does that in this day and age, but they're stuck and they're in danger. And our State Department and others are working to get them to safety if they can. We'll talk more about that and your phone calls too, 545-9950. Quick break, Lead on Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned. Is that Canadian country music? That's what the good old boys sing in Canada when they're sitting there on their tractors. Why? There's a hockey game tonight.
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
We need some of that maple syrup and some of that good old Canadian bacon.
Of course, here we all just call it bacon. We're in Canada.
Eh?
You know what's funny is this is so ironic. I ate poutine yesterday.
Really?
Didn't even know we were beating the hell out of Canada. We were at lunch. It was my birthday. Got all the grandkids. My son was there. We just met up on our way back.
Yeah.
And they were all being sweet. It's my birthday and all. And so because it's my birthday, of course, Jessica uses it as an occasion to eat a bunch of junk because she's like, oh, it's your birthday. We should eat this.
Right,
Like,
right.
yeah, get some. We'll split it.
Right.
So I took down some poutine.
Now, I was in Canada last year. Yeah, just for a day. Had me some poutine, and it was not what, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like cheese curd. I like the brown gravy. Love me some French fries.
Yeah.
But
It's not as I don't know what they're raving over, to be honest. with you.
yeah, it's not like
We should just call it Canadian nachos and quit calling it poutine 'cause that sounds vulgar. I really do believe that. Instead of calling it poutine, because we call their fried ham, we call it Canadian bacon.
right.
Anyway, because it's not bacon, so we got to come up with something. So let's just call it Canadian. What would you say, Canadian nachos?
Canadian nachos.
If I had a restaurant, tell Will when he goes poutine,
Mm-hmm.
call it Canadian nachos, and Americans will eat the hell out of it. You call it poutine, we're not sure where it came from.
Right.
Even though we can look right at it and tell what it is.
Yeah, and depending on what your dietary needs are, is that
True
what
that.
you're going to be doing after you eat it?
Real. Lonnie's Furniture Company bringing you the show tonight. Y'all know this is my favorite furniture store. Some of y'all may not have a favorite furniture store. You might not have thought much about it as I did. But it's over the years, it's my relationship with John and now Reggie that they've partnered in this superstore and how well they treat people, how satisfied. Forget me telling you that it's an acre in size and more selection into any. I passed an IKEA in Miami that may be bigger than Lonnie's. That thing was massive. I went, that is a big store, but it's full of cheap stuff, right? Screwed together stuff you got to take home and put together. Lonnie's is different. It's a massive store full of quality. But outside that, for me, it's the fact that I have told you all about them for years and years and years. And I don't think once have we had a disappointed customer. I don't know. Maybe some people might have misinterpreted something. Things do go weird in business, but I've never had a complaint. Years and years, everybody, in fact, it's the opposite. I get rave reviews. People will spontaneously call this radio show and talk about the deal they got, how happy they are, how nice everybody was, how it all came together just because they took that drive to Kimberly and went to Lonnie's Furniture Company. LAUNIUS, Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com. Y'all go see them. They're right off exit 280 on I-65. I say it that way on purpose because I don't want y'all going down 280. It's exit 280 off I-65, Lonnie's Furniture Company, and get yourself a deal and a half with everybody there and let them hook you up with something beautiful for your home as we get ready to spruce up for spring. There, I said it. I know it's not really spring yet, but I'm going to wish it to show up anyway because I just came back from summer and came right back to winter, and I need spring now. All right, y'all, back in a minute. 2:30, Leland Live. We'll go to the phones, get a couple calls in here, and then get on to some of the other serious stuff as well. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned. It's 2:35, Leland Live. Let's keep going. All American Metals bringing you the show tonight. That is the one-stop shop. If you got a steel building or any kind of building that you want to do this year, some of you, it's going to be a business application where you're trying to grow your business. You need more space. You're planning on the future, or you're starting a business and you need a place to work from, whether it's warehousing, even retail. All American Metals produces everything you need. They produce all the components. They control the whole process from the design of the building through the production of all the materials, packaging it together, delivering it to your site. They can even help you get set up so that you can, of course, get it erected. You're going to have some of your own work to do as far as getting your concrete done and getting your foundation ready, but they can help you in their process too to guide you with that. Y'all need to reach out to them. These are local folks. It's who we use on this show. We don't have a lot of or any really corporate type national entities. These are good local folks that live in our community. And when that's true, especially even like All American, it's two generations of people, of families, two generations, two families that believe in what they do. Their family identity's caught up in it. Those are the people that are going to work hard for you. Their reputation's on the line, and you'll find that out when you start working with them. They are cheaper than the big boys. They are faster in all of the turnaround. The design turnaround, the production turnaround, all that's quicker, and you get custom work. That's just part of the package, and that's just outstanding. Make that building the way you want it. Now, of course, residential stuff, they do that too with pole barns and sheds and anything you need on your property. It's All American Metals over in the Bessemer, Hueytown area. Look at their website. You can see some of the buildings they put up. Better yet, from there, get the phone number and call them and set an appointment, and let's get that building built with steel the right way with All American Metals. allamericanmetals.com, aa-metal.com, aa-metal.com. Well, let's do some calls while we're waiting on the hockey team to arrive. I don't know if we're going to get a clean feed of this so you can hear the arrival. There are just some cameras set up at Miami International of one of those, glass doorways out of the international terminal. So it could be that if the anchors will shut the hell up, AJ, and we can get on one of the pool feeds, we could bring you the sound of them walking into the airport.
I would just hate to be one of those folks that's on vacation.
Oh yeah, trying to get through that.
Right,
airport.
trying to get through that, or you lied that you're supposed to be somewhere, and then here you are. Oh,
or trying to get home, or dang man, with a blizzard hitting some of the major airports, everybody's getting spilled over.
Yeah,
airports are a mess all over the country because of New York alone, and now they go like, what now? We're sorry, the flight cannot disembark yet. Why? Because the U.S. hockey team's in the way. They're like, oh, never mind then, America.
Yeah.
David is on a cell phone. What's up, David?
Little trivia for you. And 1980 hockey team
Okay.
that you were talking about, they came to Birmingham, and you mentioned college kids.
Yeah.
Okay. They came to Birmingham. They toured the country getting ready for the Olympics, playing various hockey teams. So they came to Birmingham in 1980. And they beat this crud out of the Birmingham Bulls.
Really?
I was dumbfounded how smooth and good those kids were because they were playing professional hockey here in Birmingham, and which was exciting and fun. But and I was in my early 30s. I'm going to say I was in my early 30s, and I went to hockey. So that was a thrill to see those guys. And I thought I'd just pass that along. Just good trivia for
that's a
Birmingham.
good memory. Reagan came through, I think that same year. Didn't he come through and eat at the McDonald's famously over by Elmwood? And, Birmingham had a little. Yeah.
Well, where I saw Reagan that same year is on 20th Street South. They changed the name of this hotel on 12th and 20th regularly, so I don't remember what the name of the hotel was.
It was the Parliament. It was the Parliament Hotel.
No, on the 12th Avenue on.
Oh, okay.
Like University.
Yeah.
That's where he spoke in that hotel. So for those of us who weren't invited, and that would be me, we were on a wall across the street, across 20th. Just a ton of us to see him get out of his vehicle, and I don't remember the vehicle. So he gets out of the vehicle, and there's a ton of people out there. So he stops, he waves to the crowd.
Yeah.
He makes a few comments, and I don't remember what he said, but the principle remains the same. He spoke to the crowd,
Yeah.
and then he went into the hotel and he gave a speech in there.
Good
Probably
stuff,
had
David.
lunch in there.
We appreciate you, man.
And
Good
I,
memories. There we go. Real quick, thanks, David. There's a hockey team member. I don't know which one because I don't know any
Austin
of them.
Matthews, he's a Team USA hockey captain.
All right, here's the captain talking right now. They just came into the airport. Let's take a listen to this.
Players in it, so we got a taste of it last year with the Four Nations, and I think it just made everybody extremely hungry and motivated to come here or go to Italy and get the job done. Like I said, it's been a long time, and it's great for the United States. It's great for the game of hockey in America, and it's pretty special just to be a part of that.
So last 24 hours, good. Matthew, good job. Thanks, Austin. Good. Matthew.
All right. So there's that. Is that all he had to say, AJ?
Well, I think they brought in another player.
Here's another one. This guy got something to say.
It's a dream of ours. It was such an amazing way to unite the country. We felt the support being across the Atlantic, and now being back on home soil. We can feel it the second the wheels hit the ground. So excited to be back in the greatest country in the world, and so excited to celebrate.
Have you spoken to your Canadian teammates yet?
Just in line after the game, but no, they have their own plane back here, so I'll see them in a few days.
How are you guys going to celebrate here in Miami?
We have spending the day here today, and then off to BC tomorrow, and then I'll be back in Lauderdale on Wednesday.
You guys go to the union? Matthew, can you show us your medal?
Exactly what our plan is.
Can I get a selfie?
Matthew, what's it going to be like in the locker room with the
Matthew, that was really nice for you.
It'll be a little
That's enough of that. It's kind of confusing because there are a lot of, I think there's some reporters there, but there's some amateurs trying to get in on it with their cameras. So they're kind of crowding out the space. Anyway, go USA, Team USA. There we go. That'll be a big deal tomorrow night. Back to some other things. And I think our friend Clarissa wants to talk about this Mexico situation, which I'm really fired up and serious about right now. This is a point in time where dominoes start to fall, and it's long overdue. Mexico could be much more of a country if these cartels weren't running the whole showdown there. And this is a big moment right now for that whole country. Clarissa, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I was just going to call Leland and say that for years I have tried to talk to one cousin in particular that lives in Mexico. My family lives down there, and about his criticism for Trump. And it's just gone in one ear and out the other. And today I noticed that he had posted on social media what a relief that he was that Trump was doing what he was doing, because he's known this cartel violence his whole life in Mexico. And so anyway, I just wanted to call and report that social media post from Mexico today.
No, that's perfect. Thank you, Clarissa. And a lot of you will have connections there, whether it's family or you vacation or you know people that are trapped there, and it's a dire situation for them. Clarissa, does he feel safe, or and you're saying they're relieved that the cartels are being confronted?
Yes. Part of what he wrote was that violence should never be normalized, and part of the culture of Mexico, per his words, were that this had become so normalized in Mexico. And I shouldn't probably say this on the radio, but I will, just because, we just never know who has what story to tell. One of the reasons that my dad left Mexico was because of he just wanted to be away from corruption, and him and my uncle were having some spats, and I asked him back a couple of years ago what that was about, because I just adored my uncle, and my uncle had passed away, and he actually told me that when he was during his time as a judge, my uncle was threatened by the cartels to kill our family if he didn't turn a blind eye, which he did. But anyway, it is I work in the travel industry, as you know, when we've talked off air at one of the events that y'all do at Celeria Brewing or whatever, and so it's a difficult time, because as a conservative, I've also had a family member that has died from fentanyl, and so as a person, as a patriot of America, you want these things to stop because it does affect our country. But working in the travel industry, you want to make sure that, all your clients and spring breakers and everybody is taken care of. But anyway, I just wanted to call and chime in on that today, that my cousin is coming around to Daddy Trump.
There it is. All right. Thanks, Clarissa. We appreciate that a whole lot. She always knows how to bring it and do it quickly, and I appreciate it, with a lot of information, too. So let's talk more about that, because that's one of the premier, front and center stories right now. This is all with the backdrop of us amassing a massive military force around Iran right now. We could be about to execute a military action in Iran. And in some ways, there are parallels. Let me see if I can explain. This is my opinion based on my modern worldview observations. The Iranians population, most of the people that live there are under 35. A vast majority of their population is very young. They're very desperate to participate in the rest of the world, but they've known nothing but a theocracy their whole lives. They've known nothing but total control. And by the way, we started watching a series on I forget which channel. I think maybe it's Apple TV called Tehran, and I had no idea this was even out. It's on their top 10 right now. Some of that could be because the producer was just found murdered in Athens, Greece, and immediately they were fearful that it was that it was the Iranians that took her out because of the way this series depicts the country. Naturally, they shot most of it elsewhere around Greece, I believe, which could very much substitute architecturally and everything for Iran. But this woman was found right before I went on vacation. She was found murdered or dead. The crew, the production company, everybody else believes it was a suicide. But that drew my attention to this series. I'd never heard of it, and it's insanely good. It sort of paints a picture of the tension that goes on behind the scenes constantly in their culture. And of course, it's about the Israelis spying on them and them trying to investigate. So it's one of those things, purely fiction, but based on modern reality. Bottom line is, Iran is at a tipping point right now where those people could see freedom if the United States would just blink and give it a little bit of a push. And it seems like we're poised to do that. Down in Venezuela, we did it instantly by snatching Maduro. The Venezuelans have hope now for a free capitalistic society. Cuba, because of that nexus, is also in the mix. Havana's about to topple over economic conditions. Commies don't know how to run things. They've ruined a beautiful island and beautiful people who escaped for decades now and yearn to go be reunited with their families and live in freedom. The United States has never, Kennedy, Reagan, none of the big presidents of the last 60 years or 70 years basically have been able to really push that domino over in Cuba the right way. There have been some failed attempts, but Cuba seems to be, there's so much hope that Cuba could be freed. Now you look at Mexico, our neighbor to the south, and probably the most important country to us of all the three, that has been run by these cartels for all of this time. Just like the Iranian situation, there is a mass population of people under a certain age that live in fear every day of the cartels because they run the government. Y'all, they installed the Scheinbaum lady as their president. They own her. It's not the first time. They've always owned the local police through just payoffs and extortion and bribery. The federales are the ones they wind up having to fight with, the federal police. Occasionally they buy them off. It's a very complex situation, but they don't have freedom in Mexico because of it. As free as it can be and as rich in resources and a lot of things that Mexico has, it's been their dysfunctional government. A lot of that's the cartels, which slowly have grown. They sort of grew out of the Colombian cartels, and then they became a logistics operation. You can look at them as a trucking company. They move things from A to B throughout Mexico and into the United States, and now they've set up full-fledged retail here. If you think about them as a business and not a terror organization, they're trying to protect their business model right now. They have competition. They have rivals. There are about 7 main cartels in Mexico. The biggest one is the one that El Muncho, whatever his name was, just got taken out of. They're also considered the biggest suppliers of fentanyl into the United States. They're also the ones that largely have been able to move some of their fentanyl product through Venezuela into those drug boats as they try to get around the border. Of course, we continue to blow those up. I think we've blown 40 of them up now to get rid of those supply lines. The border is secure. So the pressure's mounting on their operation, even though they've got piles of money. That money is used to buy their armaments, to pay off and pay bribes and control things. And when that starts to get in short supply, suddenly the tables get turned. The bottom line is there is a generation, as Clarissa spoke to it, of Mexicans that want their country back. They want to be Mexicans. Can I tell you this? There are a lot of them that are here that would go home if they had a better place to live. It's true. There's some immigrants that came here not from the gangs and the thugs, but there's money to be made. There's opportunity to be made, to be had. And it's not as if they all want to become Americans and wave the flag and learn our history and assimilate. They still want to. There's a lot of national pride in people from Mexico. They can't live there. It's no place to raise a kid when you've got beheadings and people hanging off bridges and drug cartel violence everywhere, and there's nowhere to turn for security. They don't have They don't have a Second Amendment like we do. They can't protect themselves personally, and the police are all bought off. It's a dangerous country. And for the life of me, I don't know why anybody would go vacation there, but if you do, you do. But it's dangerous. It's been dangerous, and now it is caught up with the people that are trapped there. Now, I'm not saying I'm not one of those that's going to say, well, it's their fault. They shouldn't go there. I think a lot of people naively just assume, oh, it's fine. I'll take a 3 or 4 day trip and come back. It's cheaper there. I would advise you not to do that for the foreseeable future if we can get these people out. So the State Department has published hotlines to try to get people taken from that country. Flights have been canceled. In other words, you're not going to the airport, getting on a Delta and coming home. The flights have been canceled. Both Canada and the United States had to cancel those flights. So these people that got to the airport are stuck at the airport. Ground transportation is dangerous. The State Department is warning people to shelter in place. And they're saying that some Americans, they believe, have already been kidnapped, taken hostage, probably for ransom to be held. And the ransom may not be money. It may be to stop the operations that led to their leader getting capped, because there will be other leaders. We're also picking up on a lot of intel that the cartels are fighting each other now in the streets. When there's a vacuum of leadership, there's automatically a move. You've seen just like the Italian mob movies that you see here in the United States, one leader gets taken out, everybody's fighting to move into that position, and you've got that going on between the cartels. They're fighting for their sort of market share or control themselves. And that, I believe, is the scheme here. You take out leadership, mess up their supply lines. It's really, really smart stuff. Get them fighting with each other. They'll sort Darwin had a law about this. They'll sort themselves out of the gene pool largely, and then once they become dysfunctional, it'll be easier potentially for the Mexican government to get back control of their country if you got rid of Scheinbaum and some of the paid off politicians. It's a mess. It's a total mess, but it's a good kind of mess, because it's one of those things where there's going to be ugly stuff to get. I said this the day after Trump won. In order for us to deport the number of people that need to be deported based on the number that were let in, it's going to be messy to get these people deported. Same thing, if you're going to take down cartels that have poisoned this country and caused violence on our side of the border. By the way, this El Muncho guy has killed many, many Americans on our soil with his proxies that Joe Biden and company let in. And so it's a fluid, explosive situation. But for me, I see hope in it, because it's going to look like this. If those cartels ever are brought down, there's going to be a pushback. They're not going to go do so without fighting. They're going to be fires and damaged property and a lot of death. But at the other end of that is maybe freedom for some people that we'd have a whole different relationship with that country if not for this issue. They could be brought into the modern world where they could thrive and be free like us, which balances out us. There's a lot of, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's enough hope to hope it happens. How about that? Southern Skies Dermatology. Let's talk about that. Southern Skies is a wonderful operation. I've got an appointment coming up there just in a few days just to get checked. It's a regular checkup. I stay up on my checkups because I've got all the markers. I got a family history. I did a lot of sunburning. I'm now aging into a situation where your body starts to be less able to fight off skin cancer. Damage that you did decades ago can suddenly show up. So the best thing to do, in addition to wearing the sunscreen and not overexposing yourself, go get your checkup. That's part of the battle. So do it, and do it at Southern Skies, where they are the skin cancer experts. This is what they do. That's why that practice is there. And they've got great locations all around, with a brand new one coming soon on a whole nother part of town that I'm very excited about. Y'all go see them. Take care of yourself. Somebody wants you to go. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. SouthernSkiesDermatology.com. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, storm restoration roofing. This is the time of the year when a lot of damage happens. You know, you on a roof, like all your building components, you got expansion and contraction with the heat. Roofs deal with a lot of rain and the erosion from rain over time, and this sitting there in the sun baking. They have a lifespan. They wear out. They have to be replaced. We get that. If you're facing that, do it in a controlled way. Don't wait till you've got trouble and then you're in an emergency. Let storm restoration come and replace that roof. That is Greg Nelson. I trust him because he's been doing this. He's close to 30 years in the business now with his entire family working with him. That says a lot about him. If you care about your family enough to put them in your business and you care about your business enough to put your family in the middle of it, that says a lot about both. And Greg's just that kind of guy. He wants to teach his family to work hard and to carry on that name in the right way, the way he's always done. That is doing these projects right, working if you have an emergency situation and it winds up being an insurance adjuster, working with those adjusters to get that claim in and to make sure all that's done correctly. And then, of course, everything that follows. It's storm restoration work, roofing. Greg knows all these adjusters, what they require, what a good claim should have, what you've got to do to document. So if you do have that situation, make sure you get him up there first on the roof to give you a good estimate before you get maybe turned down because you didn't apply right to your insurance company. Again, same thing works for the big, just general replacement where there's no insurance involved. If you need help with financing, he's got companies that have come alongside his business, and they'll both finance the big project or the insurance project, whichever one hits you. As we get into rainy season, and we're just minutes away, it seems, from our big storm season that we always get in the spring, make sure you got Greg's number put aside if you have an emergency as well. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Simple phone number. Stick this somewhere where you can get to it. 205-542-3531. 205-542-3531. Storm Restoration Roofing. I just saw this come across. I'm looking for some more verification, but this is another good economic sign, is that mortgage rates, as you know, fluctuate all the time, and they're not entirely dependent on the Fed rate, but it's sort of the basis for everything. There's some mortgages tied to Treasury bills and whatnot, but just on average, we just saw a dip today below 6% for the first time in 4 years. Now, it may not stay there. Tomorrow it could go up a little bit, go down a little bit, but it's heading in that direction. That's good news. The markets aren't looking so good today. They're trying to price in the tariff situation, and I was out for the ruling on Friday, but of course Trump kind of anticipated, and so did the markets. They anticipated that the Supreme Court would likely rule that Trump couldn't use the IEPA as a predicate for his tariff strategy. But what the court did was talk about the circumstances in their ruling where a president could, and that's exactly what Trump already had prepared. He basically had, under other provisions of the law, an ability to reinstitute all those same tariffs, even raise a few of them under different areas of the law based on the ruling on Friday. The markets, I guess, didn't see that. They had priced in the Supreme Court ruling, and then Trump comes out and says, no, we're going to keep going. So the markets are trying to price that in today. They're down the Dow right now as we head toward the close, down 855. Let me look at the percentage on that because that number always makes my eyes hurt. I go, whoa, that's huge. Are we having a crash? No, that's only 1.7%. When the market's at these levels, it's wise really to just look at percentages. But we've got down numbers all over the place. And we'll let you know more about that here in just a little bit as we track all of this stuff this afternoon and get your phone calls in here on a Monday. I got Epstein stuff in the news to get to. There's so many things that are still popping. And believe it or not, we don't have anything new on this Nancy Guthrie mystery. That story finally it left the headlines, but she's still not found. Nothing new on that today whatsoever. What a crazy thing. All right, top of the hour, 1819 News. We'll be back in a minute. Your phone calls too. Leland Live, Talk 99.5. Y'all stay tuned.